£1.5 trillion is what sits in UK bank accounts completely uninvested. And only 28% of people have opened a cash ISA, and even fewer have opened a stocks and shares ISA. Now, this is a big problem, right? Everybody is leaving their cash to be essentially invested by these large banks, and you're only getting less than 1% return on that, right? So your cash is being left in an account. These banks are investing it somewhere else, and you're only seeing quite literally a fraction of that, when you could take control of your destinies as such and put it in these tax wrappers to take advantage of potential returns. Now, the stocks and shares ISA is by far the most powerful investing account that you can take advantage of in the UK. Now, not many people know about these insights or even new changes that have occurred within these accounts. So even if you're sitting on the fence or you're a seasoned investor, this video will be a complete breakdown and more of an update of what has been happening with these ISAs. Now, in this video, we will be talking about what is a stocks and shares ISA and how does it work, the benefits of using them and what you can use them for, as well as where to start or even open an account, and the most important questions that you should ask yourself before proceeding with an ISA. Now, ISAs are super simple. Essentially, they're an individual savings account which has tax advantages. Now, there are 4 types of ISAs, but in today's video, we're going to be focusing on the stocks and shares ISA, as that will give you more control as well as flexibility in terms of what investments you make if you'd like to make your own decisions on this. This will allow you to deploy capital into opportunities you may even find attractive, as well as plant seeds for long-term growth. Now, for reference, personally, I take advantage of the cash ISA, and then I transfer that capital from my cash ISA to my stocks ISA when I'm ready to invest it. Each tax year, you'll have a maximum of £20,000 which you can invest, which can be spread out into all 4 ISAs if you'd like. However, I like to split them between the cash ISA and the stocks ISA, as they can be interchangeable. Now, it's important to note that you don't have to use your whole £20,000 balance, as it will reset the next year. But if you were to deploy £5,000 so far into the overall ISA and not invest it, and then take that money out, you would have £15,000 left. So it won't reset back to zero. You'll still have that limit of £15,000. Now, from my knowledge, there are 2 main advantages of using the stocks and shares ISA. It firstly is a tax benefit. So any gains that you make within this ISA, you will not have to pay any tax whatsoever on your gains. Now, there's no limit to capital growth. So you can essentially invest all your money into stocks if you'd like. You can invest it into ETFs if you'd like. There is no growth, there is no cap to the returns that you can make, which is super exciting, especially if you put the work in and do your research. The upside is limitless. But as a general overview, some of the things that you can invest in is obviously stocks and shares, bonds, ETFs and funds, and you can even keep your money in cash, keep them in a cash ISA, and move them between the cash and the stocks and shares ISA at a time that suits you. Now, because ISAs are for UK residents, it doesn't mean you're restricted to the UK. You can still purchase stocks and ETFs and different funds that are located outside of the UK. For example, you can still buy Apple stock, although they're based on the New York Stock Exchange, you can still purchase that stock. However, what I would suggest, if you're looking to buy, for example, the S&P 500, it'd probably be best to buy them on the London Stock Exchange if you're based in the UK, because you will not be paying any FX spread and fees there because of the conversions. So I would keep that in mind if you were looking to proceed forward. But again, if you needed advice, I'm not a financial advisor. This is how I personally do things. Now, an important factor to consider is where to start and open an account. Now, there are hundreds of brokers out there, so it can be quite difficult to pick which one may work for you, but it's important to ensure that you choose a regulated broker, so at least you're protected from a regulatory standpoint. I also think that once you choose that broker, to stick with them, because you don't want to be hassling and moving money from X broker to Y broker consistently. So pick a broker and just stick with them from that perspective. I personally, as you can imagine, use Trading212, and that's a brokerage that I'll most likely stick with because it's super easy to use, it's commission-free trading, and they are FCA regulated. Now, Trading212, it's super easy to set up. All you have to do is follow the steps that are prompted to you, and they have great customer service. So if you did need additional customer support, you can just reach out to those. Now, luckily, I've actually got a link below, which if you haven't opened an account, you can actually get a free share using the link below, and this will kick yourself off starting your investing journey. Now, before I opened my ISA a few years back, key questions I had to ask myself was, what were my goals and what do I want to actually get out of this account? For me, it was pretty simple. It was long-term growth and capital appreciation, which is why I decided to pursue with the stocks and shares ISA and set up everything around that. Now, your goals may be completely different. That's why it's important to write your goals down. Understand why you're looking to open an ISA, because you don't want to start it and not be consistent with it. Or by all means, you can definitely do that, but you'll most likely stop long way down the line. You really need to understand why you're going ahead with the specific product that you're choosing. You may just be looking for more consistent returns, which is why the cash ISA may suit you. And although I use the cash ISA, predominantly my focus is on the stocks and shares, and the two other ISAs I don't use. But if you did need more overviews and insights into the intricacies of the other ISAs, let me know and I'll be happy to cover those as well. Now, that is it for today's video. I wanted to focus on the stocks and shares ISA because that's the main questions that I get. There really is no right or wrong answer. It's all personal and where you essentially want to go.